this podcast is going to be kind of like a follow-on from last night's podcast. Just a couple of other little kind of stories attached to what I was talking about last night with the dog and the kid. Won't be as severe. Jesus Christ, man. No, not even close. But I just killed a gecko. Little baby gecko in my hallway. I walked out to get my Canon LaCroix. If LaCroix want to sponsor me, you know what I mean? Please. I'm averaging 6-7 views per video, so you know what I mean? Makes sense. But I walked out to get a LaCroix, and I heard some kind of crunch, a little crunch beneath my feet, you know? And I just come back in, and I saw a little baby gecko. It was so sad. It was crawling along like it was suffering. And I'm like, what's up with this little baby gecko, you know? And I hadn't put the crunch together with what had happened. And it was crawling like this, like... And I went, oh shit, did I just step on that fucking thing? So I stepped on it again real quickly. I know, I hate hurting animals or insects or creatures or reptilians. But I could tell it was in distress, so I had to kill it immediately. You know what I mean? So I stepped on it and I got rid of it. And I'm getting hundreds of little baby geckos coming into my house, and big geckos too. And I've never had that before. And I'm wondering, is it the fucking spider in the attic? Like, are they seeking political sanctuary? Because they're coming in to get out of whatever is like in the garage or in the attic, you know? They're coming in or outside. They're scared, man. They're really scared. And you know what? I used to have like several cockroaches. It's summertime in Florida, you always get cockroaches. But the garage would be full of cockroaches. I haven't seen a cockroach there in a long time. Whatever, that fucking thing upstairs in the attic, man, that's killing fucking cockroaches, like left, right, and center, man. But look, here's the story, okay? And it was about kids in the 70s. I actually will tell a few stories like this. We were different, man. We were harder. We were harder. And I'm sure kids in the fucking 60s and 50s were even harder still. I think every generation gets weaker and weaker and weaker, you know? But in the 70s and the 80s, man, we were pretty fucking hard, you know? I mean... You didn't have overprotect our parents. Our parents said, look, get the fuck out of the house. You know what I mean? We're doing shit here. Go on, go play, you know? You couldn't go to your room and play on your computer. We didn't have computers. Your parents said, get the fuck out of the house. And you'd be like, man, there's loads of pedophiles out there. Fucking deal with it. You know what I mean? That's the way they really were like that back then. But speaking of pedophile stories... I have two kind of minor stories, you know. One was a friend of mine and the other was me. And I told you one of them last night. And that actually happened, you know what I mean? We were rough kids. I told a pedophile, you know what I mean? A pedophile tried to pick me up at a bus stop. I said, why don't you get the fuck out of here? We were nasty little bastard kids back then. If someone said that didn't really happen, it really did. It really did happen. A pedophile tried to pick me up at a bus stop, and I looked at him because I used to get into fights every day, right, with kids in my neighborhood. I used to get my nose and my eye bust open. So we were little nasty bastards, man. We threw rocks at each other's heads for fun, you know. But I said to the pedophile, why don't you get the fuck out of here? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I was going to attack him. What could I do? Probably a lot more than I think. But the first story is a friend of mine, okay? Joey Page, okay? I'm going to tell you something. I've changed the name. The first name, Joey, okay? The second name is Page. But I changed the first name, Joey. But it's kind of an E. It's kind of an E sound, okay? It's not quite Robbie, but it's on the same track. It's close. It's a close cousin of Robbie. So you could say Robbie Page and you'd be almost there. Just change one letter. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the first letter you change. I ain't saying anything. So this is a true story. I swear on my mother's life. We're all hanging out one day and I think we were a little old. We're like 9 or 10 at this stage. And I'll call him Robbie. Oh fuck, I'll call him by his real name. Michael. So Michael said to me, no, but his name was Bobby. So Bobby came up, you know, and it was like 8 o'clock at night and we're on the wall. We used to always hang out at a wall smoking cigarettes. Even though we were young, we smoked. And he said, oh man. And he's laughing, and we're smoking cigarettes. And we're like, what? He goes, I was almost raped today in an alleyway. I'm telling you, man, he said it like that. And we're like, yeah, what happened? He said, well, I was going to go to school, and I didn't want to go. So I put my baggy pants. Back in the 80s, everybody wore baggy pants, baggy jeans. I put my baggy jeans in my school bag. And as soon as I got out of the house, I put my baggy jeans on. And the reason why you try and conceal your school uniform is because there were truant officers everywhere back in the day. Skipping school was a big deal. So he said, I put my baggy jeans on. I went into town and I took my blazer off, my school blazer, and just put a t-shirt on, And I went into town. And he said I was walking around town, going around the ILAC Centre. And right by the ILAC Centre, which is a big kind of mall in the middle of Dublin town, I went down an alleyway, okay? And I was going down an alleyway, and there was this guy walking towards me. And just as he got to me, he grabbed me. And Bobby was only 9 years old, man. And he pushed me down another alleyway, like a side alleyway. And I was screaming, let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. And he had me pinned to a wall, right? He started rubbing me, and he was getting off on it, and I couldn't, he said I couldn't scream at that stage. I was so scared, So he started getting really fucking, really aroused, and he took his penis out and he started rubbing it. And then he said, Bobby said he knew he was going to get raped. So the guy went to his pants, okay, his baggy jeans, and he started opening them and getting really turned on. And he opened them and he put his hand inside his baggy jeans like he was going to feel Bobby's penis. But instead, he felt his school trousers because he had 2 pairs of trousers on. This is a true story. This is a horrible story, man. But he felt his school trousers and he got confused. He went, what the fuck? And Bobby bust past him and ran like the fucking wind. It was like a slight second where the guy had loosened his grip. He kind of went, what the fuck, and jumped back. And Bobby went like a light, and the guy came after him. He almost had him, but he got into the main alleyway and there were people walking by, and the guy gave up, and Bobby kept running, and he said, yeah, man, I was almost raped in an alleyway today. And we were like, mad. We were like, you know what I mean? If you told that story nowadays, they'd have the fucking FBI, the CIA, they'd have everybody out in mass. Fucking TV crews would be descending. We were little kids smoking cigarettes, and we're like, cool, man, cool. You got lucky, man. You know what I mean? Fucking crazy. Something was wrong with kids back then. And even if Bobby had been raped, man, he probably would have still come out and smoked cigarettes. You know what I mean? Back then, you walked that shit off. It's horrible, but you did. You walked that shit off. Get the fuck over it, man. It's time to move on. And the second story, these are great stories. Oh yeah, I'm really enjoying these stories, man. They're really interesting. If I was watching somebody else telling these stories, I'd be here. Stop, move on. Stop, move on. The second story was me, and I was about 9 and 10 as well, and I skipped school. Kind of the same story, and I went to see The Secret of NIMH. I fucking love that movie, man. I went to see The Secret of NIMH, and I was really digging it. It was The Secret of NIMH. It was a double bill, and The Dark Crystal. And I had enough money to get some potato chips and some chocolate and some Coke. This was a great day for me. I skipped school to see these 2 movies, So I'm watching The Secret of NIMH, and this guy, this old man, he's around about 60, 70, he sits down beside me, and there's nobody else in the cinema, right? And he says, hey, do you mind if I sit here? And I'm like, I am. I'm like, yeah, no. Because I'm really into the movie. I said, no. I'm watching the movie, I said, no. I said, sit where you want. So he starts making these weird movements, but I wasn't noticing because I'm so into this movie and I'd wanted to see it for ages and I'm loving it. And he starts kind of, getting close to me and all. And then I started to notice it and it started to annoy me because he was taking me out of the movie, And then he put his hand close to me and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? I'm watching this fucking movie here, you know what I mean? I'm watching this movie, and he's taking me out of it and it's really starting to piss me off, right? Then he puts his hand on my inside thigh and he starts feeling it up and I burst open, man. I literally, like a fucking volcano, apoplectic, right? I literally lost it. I went, for fuck's sake! Like, I literally screamed it, you know what I mean? For fuck's sake! Fucking hell! Jesus Christ! And the guy was shook back, And I was angry because I was missing the movie. And this guy was making me miss the movie. I was a little psychopath kid. But I was a little psycho kid. And I got up and I put all my crisps away. And I'm like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I'm looking at him. I can't even watch the fucking movie. I paid to watch the movie and I can't even fucking watch it. And the ushers came in and they were like, what's going on? And I'm walking all the way down to the front, you know what I mean? Talking to myself. I think there was something wrong with me, I really do. I truly believe as a child there was something wrong with me. And I'm getting mad at myself. I'm like, I can't even watch a fucking movie. I paid to watch the movie and I stopped and I turned back at him. And I can't even watch it because people are disturbing me. And the ushers are like, what's going on? And I put my bag down and I sat down and I didn't enjoy the rest of the movie because this guy taken me completely out of the movie. I was so fucking mad. And I think the guy ran. Like, he ran and the ushers are like, what's wrong with this little kid? This kid's a fucking psycho. You know what I mean? I swear to God, on my mother's life, that is a true story. I know it sounds like something I'm just pulling out of my ass, but that actually happened. I got felt up in a cinema and I lost my shit. Not because he was feeling me up. Honestly, he could have, if I'd have been able to watch the movie without being disturbed, I probably would have let him feel me up, You know what I mean? Go for it. Whatever is making you happy, just don't disturb the movie for me. But it's because he was taking me out of the movie. That's what drove me crazy. Not the fact that I was getting molested. I honestly didn't kind of care. I just wanted to watch the film. You know what I mean? But his molestation was interfering with my viewing pleasure. Just a couple of stories. I didn't say they were good stories. Nobody's gonna watch. Anyway, but just a couple of stories. The difference between kids then and kids now.